Hi, everybody. Cody from the Way of the Void here. Just hoping that you know that this is just for entertainment purposes only. We're just trying to make you giggle a little bit. It's damn near designed so you can't learn anything from it. Just keep that in mind. It's just laughs, folks.
There is no other God. Satan killed him.
There it is. Yeah. Jesus fuck.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
Sick.
Thank you. I'm Eric,
Christ, I'm Cody.
and that's Nikki.
Yeah. And this is the Way of the Void. What has been new now?
Well, we just got out of the mud flood episode.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
yeah,
Thanks for sticking with us for another week.
I apologize for any listeners that stuck with us through that one.
You know what I realized about that? It's fucking Nikki's fault.
Yeah, that was completely my fault.
Yeah.
I was really curious about
He
that.
pushed you into this.
Yeah, I can't tell if it was a good episode or not.
It was a great episode.
I
Don't get down on yourself.
No, because I kind of feel the same thing as that you felt with the Enoch episode.
You're going to be sweating it all week
Yeah.
until you like actually sit down and listen to it. It's not going to be as bad as you think.
Yeah, it's yeah, I'm already going to put a bunch of pictures and stuff like that whenever I edit the episode. I'm going to edit the episode tonight
Yeah. Yeah. They'll put you at ease.
because I have to bust it out tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, because it's coming out Monday.
Today's Saturday.
Yeah, but I like to have it because it takes such a long time for it to like load
Oh,
and then
yeah,
to fucking
yeah.
upload and all that stuff.
Right.
These fancy HD cameras.
No, I went through this exact thing with the Book of Enoch when I was like one of the first episodes where I was like, fuck, I don't think I did a good job or whatever. And it turns out it's fine. Like when it came out, I was happy with it.
Yeah, I was pretty worried after I did the number stations episode and then the vampire episode. I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know if I have the chops to like actually research this shit.
Yeah.
You know, because especially those ones, and then this Tartarian one in particular, it's like there is no fucking rhyme or reason.
it's
to
everywhere.
It. You know what I mean? Like
It's all over the place.
Because a lot of these cool cryptids, you know what I mean? You
Yeah.
kind of just like pick the first sighting and kind of like, you know.
Yeah. Well, you have a place
Yeah.
to start in
But
the past and
this
work your way
one,
forward. And like,
there's no time frame. There's no
Yeah.
start. Like I literally like Googled Tartarian timeline like multiple times to kind of even look for dates or anything, and it's just like, you know, oh, history's made up, so it's like, okay,
some fucking Reddit nerd mapped it out.
yeah,
It looks like one of those old road maps of LA. Just red and blue lines crossing each other.
yeah,
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. And like I said, you were pushed into this.
yeah. Nikki,
By Nikki.
forced me,
Yeah.
forced my hand.
Yeah. Do you remember when you caught him trying to sell it to me?
They did.
Yeah. In the backyard, and Nikki had already tried to bounce this one off of you a couple times, and you were like, yeah, well, maybe I'll get to it. You know, and then he was like, well, maybe I can expedite things. He went behind your back and went over to me and was like, you know, this mud flood thing's pretty cool. I mean, I think it's pretty cool.
Like
Pretty cool if somebody covered it. And then you come storming out.
Well, the cryptids are one thing, you know what I mean? Because the cryptids are like it's like a thing, you know what I mean? You're telling a story.
You're talking,
and the conspiracy ones are all over the place, man. Because you know it's like so hard to like really.
They don't come from
the
most reliable sources,
and it's hard because it's like usually a bunch of different other conspiracies intersecting it. So like you kind of have to like. You know what I mean? I'm
temper
like,
down what you want to focus on.
I have to explain what phantom time is. You know what I mean? I have to explain what fucking white Genghis Khan is. You know, Yeah. So, yeah, there's a lot to unpack.
Yeah, we still never got there.
We did not get there. No.
I still don't know why Genghis Khan is white.
Because he's Aryan.
Oh man, I was just talking about this with Nick. We were in the backyard having a joint, and like I was just telling Nikki, I was like, "See, you always put your hackles up when this kind of shit rolls around, because you're like, okay, once they start, like, okay, all the powerful, like badass motherfuckers, those are the ones that were, well, actually, they were white." And you're like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, that always puts your hackles up a little bit. Where you're like, I see where this is going.
Well,
and
it's
then it
just-
was right after that, you're like, and the Aryans show up, and you're like, oh yeah, there they are.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's kind of like, it's
Yeah.
a very,
That one lady you showed me is fucking whacked.
yeah, I forget what her name is.
Don't mention it, dude. She'll show up.
Yeah.
Like Beetlejuice.
That one seemed like, you could tell, like, I feel like there's a lot of astrology and like new age spiritualism kind of tied into that.
I was telling you guys in the car, I think there's a lot of Anne Rice books on those shelves.
I didn't really get into a lot of the like the pseudo spirituality, like new agey stuff, but there's a bunch of new agey stuff like mixed in, all that stuff.
A lot of Victorian shit. The
Yeah.
aesthetics that they like AI
Yeah.
generate and stuff.
Yes,
they like
yes.
focus on that. It's
Yeah.
very weird.
Yeah.
Anne Ricey, Twilighty kind of language with
Yeah.
it too.
Yeah.
The royal bloodlines
What
took over the energy stations.
It has a big steampunk vibe to me too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
not for me. I remember years and years ago.
Dude.
This was like literally years ago. This was probably like 10 years ago. Me and my wife, when we were dating, we went on a weekend trip to Jamestown.
Okay.
And we went to like Sonora and Jamestown and stuff like that. And because we like to go to like antique places and shit. And
Right.
we went to this one antique place and she had like a whole wall of like steampunk costumes.
Yeah.
And then she was like, "Are you guys into steampunk?" And we're like, "Oh no, not really."
Yeah.
And then she's like, "Yeah, if you advertise steampunk, they will come." And then she's just like, "People love it.
Who will?
People love it." And like every weird little like antique place we went to, there's like all these like fucking
Goggles
top
and
hats
shit.
with like fucking goggles and feathers and shit on.
I've seen that before. Yeah.
Dude, knowing you too, I can't think, like, this must have been rough because, like, if I'm like, all right, I'm thinking about Eric, and then I think of like, okay, what's one mythology he'd be a fucking hard pass on? It would be the fucking Victorian era steampunk. There's not a bicep between the lot of them. Like, you could just feel that you were like, nope. Bunch
Yeah.
of motherfuckers look like Jack Skellington conducting a train.
No, I thought it was
You do without that, thank you.
I thought it was totally disrespectful
Yeah.
to the fucking Mongols.
Yeah. Oh my God. I didn't even
think-
think about
yeah.
that. They were probably some fucking rowdy boys too. Some fucking true hard boy
Oh
shit.
yeah.
And-
they fucking lived on the back of a horse.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. You know those guys were fucking taught.
Yeah.
Some fucking hard boys for sure.
Well, actually, I don't know, but it turns out they were 90 pounds Victorian steampunks.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
It's Phantom time travelers.
They're giant blonde. No, giant redhead psychic. Oh, I didn't even get into it. They said
the
that
Lumerians?
they said that the race of giants, they were breatharians.
Excuse me?
Do you know what a breatharian is, Cody?
God bless you.
A breatharian is a person that gets all their sustenance from breathing air and doesn't eat food or drink water.
It's a robot.
Like Dave Bautista.
He now,
He would be a breatharian.
Now.
Yeah. Yeah.
he's not giant. He's a little fucking pipsqueak.
All right. Calm down. All right.
Actually, you know what? In real life, I bet you he's still fucking huge.
Who?
Batista.
Look
You
at
don't
those
think so?
pictures. Look at those pictures, son.
Anyways, so yeah, breatharians. There's actually a bunch of like new age cultist people that are like say that they're breatharians and they don't eat and shit like that.
I bet they're the best to be around ever. The first to invite to a party.
The main cult leader lady that did it died of starvation.
Yeah, well, no shit. Is she the one that fucking they like encased in like that silver sulfate shit?
No. That's like the love eternal. Fucking,
Yeah.
No, that's a different fucking cult of fucking weirdos.
I bet you this stuff would take off with them.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
fuck
you can get it. All right, enough hijacking this shit with your fucking goddamn mud flood bullshit. And are you satiated, Nikki?
I'm good.
We're gonna leave this one behind for a little while.
Yeah.
I got something.
His coffee is completely gone.
Damn.
What?
Damn.
Yeah, drink coffee.
All right. Shit.
I like it. He's all worked up.
Look at it. It's good. All right. Today, folks, we're getting into a really fucking creepy one.
Should we talk about what happened at Starbucks?
Oh, yeah. We didn't get to talk about our fucking Starbucks relations. I got to see you go into the fucking red again. God, it's been a couple. I think it's the Nick pouches. I think they're fucking getting you.
This certainly isn't helping.
It's sick. Whatever it is, I'm fully in support of.
Yeah.
I know that you were like at one point in time, you're like, I'm gonna fucking ease up. I'm like, quit swearing so much and stuff. Like, I'm glad you're over that. And God, you pissed off is fucking. It's fucking hilarious, especially in public.
So
you want to tell them the story?
So
You
I'll
want me to tell them the
just
story?
get it out really quick. So we get to Starbucks in between episodes because we want a fucking little sweet treat, some caffeine, and we get. There's no line. There's only one lady in front of us, and so
Yeah, we figured that out real quick.
we're stoked because I have a hard cutoff in like an hour. And so anyway, so this lady is like ordering coffee, and then I notice that she like pulls out her phone and then is like calling somebody, and then she's like looking around at all the food.
It was
stuff like
for
that.
the order.
Yeah, and so it's like it's just mind fucking boggling to me that you would leave your fucking house ordering something for people and then you don't get you call them for the order. It's just fucking madness. Like, I don't know how these people fucking survive.
So, well, all right. Meanwhile, so Eric's basically burning holes in the back of this lady's back with his fucking eyes.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, me and Nikki are dealing with this other dude and his fucking sick ink.
Oh, dude, I saw it. I was hearing that. I was listening to that.
I had to fucking tap you and be like, you need to fucking see this. So he saw a tattoo on my arm. It's a fucking Cthulhu pinup girl. And this got him fucking, ooh, I need to inquire. So I hear from behind me,
Friend of the show.
that's Cthulhu? And I was like, what? And he was like, that's Cthulhu. And then finally Nikki was like, it's okay, I speak fucking amphibian. And he was like, and then he was asking if that's a Cthulhu on your arm.
Sick.
And I was like, oh, okay, thanks, Nick. Yes, it is. And then Nikki's like, and the dude's like, and then that's how they communicated. And I was completely out of it. But then he decided to show me his ink, and he pulls his sleeve up. Motherfucker got a fairy riding a dolphin, blasting out of fire and ice PlayStation button symbols.
Yeah.
It was this dopest shit I've seen in a minute.
It was wild.
It was so fucking wild. It was like his entire fucking upper
Yeah,
arm, like,
yeah,
from
yeah.
the
And he was
shoulder
a
down to the
big
elbow.
boy too.
Yeah, yeah.
It's funny because you know, I have a couple tattoos.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things is that like people always want to show you their like weird fucked up tattoos.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't. You know, I guarantee you it happens to fucking women way more.
Of course.
Of course.
Of
But
course.
like but man, it is.
You're talking about like if a chick has a bunch of tattoos and like
yeah.
a guy sees them like yeah.
Yeah. I like your ink.
Yeah.
I like your ink.
Oh
I love
yeah.
that.
I like when they say ink, dude. Makes
Yeah.
that fucking
Sick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Usually, if anyone asks me about my tattoos in public, it's always a bad sign for sure. Yeah. It's just.
Why you gonna
it's just always
like
some,
you're in for it now? You're like,
yeah,
oh, fuck.
it's usually some fucking goon, and they're like, oh yeah, I have this really cool tattoo idea, and you're like, cool stranger, I'm interested. Yeah, because
That's exactly what happened to me and Nick.
yeah.
That's exactly what happened to me and Nick just now. But except I was rewarded at the end with this beautiful fucking masterpiece he showed me. It was wild.
I will say,
A dolphin flying out of fucking
Yeah.
flames and ice
And then
with the PlayStation button
PlayStation
symbols.
buttons around it.
And he like clarified it to both of us. He was like, no, these are the PlayStation button symbols because my grandkids like video. Like, I was like, oh shit, this has meaning behind it? Oh fuck, I totally thought you were just getting like a fairy riding a dolphin out of some fucking PlayStation shit. But no, he went through it. He's like, well, my grandkids really love video games. My wife. Yeah.
Yeah, it did look. It looked like a van mural.
Yeah,
for
it
sure.
should have been blasted
Yeah.
on the side of a van. It would have been sick as fuck.
Yeah,
Actually, now the Barry and the dolphin that need to go. You replace that shit with like a wizard, fucking shooting lightning out of his eyes and shit. He can be riding a dolphin.
was the fairy naked?
No, it was dressed up like Tinkerbell. Yeah, fucking mistake, dude.
Cool, sick.
Fucking mistake, dude. I was getting I'm getting a monster on my arm, and when I go in, it was great, dude. I went in. Gerald had it fucking drawn up. Shout out Gerald.
Friend of the show.
Yeah, Striker Tattoo. Go check it out. Instagram. But he had it all drawn up, and he's like, I did one with clothes, one without. And I was like, come on now. And he was like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like, we can discard that fucking rough draft.
Oh, the tariffs have finally hit my life.
Why? What are you talking about?
I got an email today about some cool anime statues for sale.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
So there's a couple very compelling statues I looked at, and $80. You click on it. $210.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
They're coming for our babies?
Yeah. They come for our babies.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Yeah. Oh well.
It's fucking un-American.
Yeah.
It's
It is.
ugly, and it
It
put
is.
hate in your heart.
Yeah.
You
Hates
deny, I don't give a fuck about any of the other shit.
yeah.
Like, you start taking away the fucking anime statues,
Yeah,
dude?
yeah.
This is ugly business that'll put hate in your heart. This will divide people.
No, I don't stand for it.
Nope.
At all.
No. Not one fucking bit. Jesus.
Yeah.
So what'd you do? You obviously bought them.
Yeah, about like 2.
Yeah, obviously.
No.
Obviously. We're not gonna rise above this.
No, I didn't buy them.
No. Yeah. Coward. Well, hope it works out. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
All right. This one I am pumped about. I've been coming up a little fucking short, I'll admit. Like a lot of mine that I've been picking, a lot of hoaxy shit in them. And this one, I have to say, is terrifyingly real.
Which one's hoaxy shit?
No, just like a lot of the ones that I've been picking lately is I felt like, they've been a little bit of a letdown for me at least. Like not the episodes. The episodes are great. I love them. I'm proud of them and stuff. But when I picked the topic, I didn't expect the fucking chupacabra to be based off goddamn species.
Oh, dude.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like shit like that has happened to me a couple times where I'm like, yeah. Sometimes it's planned. The Warrens, I was like going into it like, yeah, I'm gonna shit on them.
the Mothman. Oh, enemy of the show, Carlos. That was one of his gripes. Is that
What?
he said that he didn't watch the Warrens episode because he already knew about them.
Okay. All right.
I don't know. I just think that's like such a fucking cop out.
Yeah.
Reason to not watch an
Yeah.
episode.
Well, he's all right. Your friend has.
He's Nick's friend.
Well, okay, good. Yeah, your friend multiple times now has been like treating this like he's supposed to learn information, and it is the exact opposite of the fucking show.
No.
There's a fucking warning at the beginning. All the information I'm telling you could be wrong. I'm not gonna fucking go that deep into it. Carlos, you need to stop watching this for the information and start watching it for the entertainment value.
You need help.
Yes, fucking unwell.
What are we talking about? What are we talking about?
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, before you brought up your fucking cool friend, every time, dude. Every fucking time. Every fucking time. You're the exception. You're like the exception. Every time I'm like, oh, I get to meet one of Eric's cool friends today, and I'm like, oh, cool. This person's in my life now. Sick. Rad. Oh, he's coming to the wrestling too. Sick. Fucking
He's gonna
tight.
sit right next to me,
Oh, it's cool. Rad.
burping in my face the whole time.
Rad. Yeah. Yeah. Sick.
Yeah, careful. I
mean-
think he listens to the pod.
Fuck. That's your can of worms to deal with.
Yeah, I know.
I'll shit on him and leave him with you.
It's Nikki.
What?
It's Nikki.
Yeah, it is Nikki. Anyway, so today I actually like dove into one, and I was kind of expecting to have like a lot of that same one. You know, a lot of them have been a little hoaxy. Like they've kind of been a letdown for me. And then I stumbled upon this guy, and it's fucking terrifying. We're going into the Wendigo today. Now, the Wendigo is, I would put it more in line with like a demonic possession than I would a full-on cryptid, even though it is known to be a cryptid. But most of the time, it started off as a man, right? This thing is fucking terrifying. So the Wendigos, it's a supernatural entity in Algonquin speaking nations, including the Ojibwe, the Cree, the Naskani, the Innu. The descriptions kind of vary, but they all kind of hold the same core kind of, it's gaunt. Most sometimes has antlers, but it is gaunt, tall, extremely fast, extremely strong. Are you pointing at Nikki?
Yeah, you just described Nikki.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's me.
Right. Yeah. Basically like a pro athlete like Nikki. Anyways, they're extremely fast, extremely strong, and most importantly, they're vicious as fuck. Now, how they get described, check this out. This comes from Basil J. Johnston, who's an Ojibwe teacher and scholar from Ontario. This is his description of Wendigos. The Wendigo was gaunt to the point of emaciation. Its desiccated skin pulled tightly over its bones, with its bones pushing out against the skin. Its complexion, the ash gray of death, and its eyes pushed back deep into their sockets. The Wendigo looked like a gaunt skeleton, recently disinterred from the grave. What lips it had were tattered and bloody. Unclean and suffering from suppuration of the flesh, the Wendigo gave off a strange and eerie odor of decay and decomposition, of death and corruption. That is that's like end stage, I'll call that, in this thing. So this thing, they can be roaming around, but they can also kind of tap into your like darker impulses amongst these like Native American tribes. So in traditions, some people who are overtaken by greed, if they are overtaken by that for too long, they can transform into these fucking things. The main kind of thoroughway through what's going to attract them, what's going to bring them around, is like really harsh winters and people who are experiencing famine. So that it's almost like their spiritual way in. And the thing that makes this almost creepier is that all of what I'm about to tell you about the Wendigo and Wendigo psychosis is they are what's called cultural in symptoms. So like if you're not brought up in this culture and you don't have access to this information, you're kind of safe from the Wendigo. It might manifest differently though. So like what science comes in and says is like, yeah, but it's a cultural symptom. Like the psychosis that they're talking about, which makes you ravenous for fucking human flesh, that can exist like in a Judeo-Christian based thing, but it would probably look something different. It would be like the devil got into you or something. But these things, once they kind of latch onto you, it's usually in times where it's a really harsh winter and you have nothing to fucking eat. And as time goes on, you just mutate into this thing. Now, the thing about the psychosis, that's like kind of what we called it once we kind of came upon, like whenever we'd come upon this, because that's like a lot of these reports is from like old publications or journal entries and stuff from like Anglo-Saxon kind of settlers, like engaging with Native American tribes and stuff. And they like witness some stuff, and they're really weird. That's what makes me think it's real. Like that's what makes me think like this particular group of people is more susceptible to whatever this fucking thing is, because like, okay, here's one of the more famous cases of Wendigo psychosis reported involved the Plains Cree trapper from Alberta named Swift Runner. Now, this says that during the winter of 1878, Swift Runner and his family were starving, and his eldest son died. Now, here's the thing, though. 25 miles away is a supply depot and trading outpost full of supplies that this guy knew about and did business with. But after his son died, Swift Runner butchered and ate his wife and 5 remaining children. Now, when I say butcher and ate, he didn't use shit. He fucking ripped them apart and ate them.
With his little fingies?
Yep. Given that he resorted to cannibalism and was less than 25 miles from a place with supplies open to him, is what kind of gives fuel to it's something supernatural that overtakes you. He consumed of the remains of all of those present. Like he was there for a while doing this shit, just out in the fucking cold. And eventually he was captured and he confessed, and then he latched on to like it was the Wendigo psychosis, and he was eventually executed in Fort Saskatchewan, like not long after they caught him.
Yeah.
There's another one. Like what I found pretty fucking interesting too is even when we're exposed to it as like an Anglo-Saxon group while it's going on, it doesn't affect us. Like there's all of these reports and stuff of us witnessing stuff, but it's like I said, it's cultural. So like if you don't grow up with the fear of the Wendigo, there's a good chance that if you're put in these situations, you may go fucking crazy and like try to eat a bunch of people, but you're not going to be doing it in the same way that these guys are doing it. And like when we came along, through like the mingling of that and the timeline, you become like less rural. There's more agriculture. And so you become less nomadic, less rural, even in the tribes, which cuts down on the risk of starvation. Like you didn't face these harsh winters all the time as time went on. So there's a sharp drop off. Like when this like happened, it's kind of like a thing from their past that like still haunts them today, but like they kind of protect against it now. This is something called the taboo ritual. So the taboo ritual, it's a ceremonial. Now, granted, they say satirical. So it's a satirical ceremonial dance sometimes performed during times of famine to reinforce the seriousness of giving in to the Wendigo. Right? It's considered, they call it the Wendigo taboo. And so it's like, hey, we're all in this together. Let's do this dance to remind people what happened when the last guy fucking went nuts and ripped his family apart and fucking ate them.
Yeah.
And so they do this dance, and it's meant to tell the story and give the warning and kind of cheer you up at the same time. So science has come in a couple times, and this part I thought was really fucking cool. Not cool, I guess, but I thought it was really interesting. Like it made me really amped to dive in a little more. And So like every time science kind of comes in and they'll start being like, well, this is kind of insensitive, or this is misdiagnosed from old, whatever publication they were reading or whatever. The tribes themselves have like come forward and be like, no, this was fucking real and a real thing to be feared and avoided. And it's our fucking business, not yours.
Oh, wow.
You
Okay.
know, like we try to come in with like, no, you're taking like old claims of cannibalism and it's super fun. And it's like, they'll come out and be like, no, you don't understand what it was like. We tell these stories to avoid it more. I still got you?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think?
I think it's weird. I think it's weird that it's so cultural. You know what I mean? That it's like,
It's so isolated.
yeah. Is there any accounts of people seeing it?
A ton.
Okay.
A ton. That was that one account from that dude, like when he had an experience with it. This like, Basil H. Johnston or whatever.
A lot of the accounts are like people that go ape shit and they say that they turn into the Wendigo.
Mm-hmm.
And then
So sometimes you can come across the Wendigo and it was probably a human at one point.
okay.
So that's another one. Like some of these reports, like when they find, like, so this one, check this out. This came from the Jesuit Relations, and this is what it reported. What caused us greater concern was the news that met us upon entering the lake, namely that the men deputed by our conductor for the purpose of summoning the nations to the North Sea and assigning them a rendezvous where they were to await our coming had met their death the previous winter in a very strange manner. Those poor men, according to the report given to us, were seized with an ailment unknown to us, but not very unusual among the people we were seeking. They are afflicted with neither lunacy nor hypochondria nor frenzy, but have a combination of all these species of disease, which affects their imaginations and causes them a more than canine hunger. This makes them so ravenous for human flesh that they pounce upon women, children, and even upon men like veritable werewolves, and devour them very viciously, without being able to appease or glut their appetites. After seeking fresh prey, and the more greedily, the more they eat. This ailment attacked our deputies, and as death is the sole remedy among those simple people for checking such acts of murder, they were slain in order to stay the course of their madness. So, like, this all comes from reports of, like, they were like, okay, they come upon a camp, and then they get a report from, like, whoever was left alive. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, yeah, these dudes fucking got the Wendigo.
Damn.
Transformed, went apeshit. They almost remind me of, like, Viking berserkers.
Mm-hmm.
What brings this on? Isolation?
It's many things. Greed, isolation, famine is, like, number one. People who are exposed to famine or starvation, they're really susceptible.
It sounds kind of like like people that are put in an extreme, like desperate kind of situation. Right. And if somebody
Mental break.
Yeah.
If somebody betrays them, like if somebody is like overly greedy during that time, those people succumb to the Wendigo.
Yeah.
It's like I've heard it as being like a part of the legend. It's like an insatiable like hunger that is never.
Yeah, that's what he's saying there. When it's like, no matter how much fresh prey, they can never appease or glut their appetite.
Yeah. So they just
keep going. They just keep going. Mm-hmm. That movie, The Ravenous, you were mentioning earlier. Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
That kind of has to do with this. But like, the thing that makes it fucking creepier is like you can kind of see it almost, I don't know what you would call it if it reaches other cultures and stuff like that, but like they say it's very culturally isolating, but I don't almost believe that. Like you could definitely see the dude that's like lost his shit in the Vietnam War and has like a necklace of human toes. You can tell like that sounds like some fucking Wendigo psychosis too. So it sounds like traumatic events and stuff like that can bring some of it on, because you can kind of see threads of it through other like really terrible situations.
I forget the name of it. You're gonna love this, but after playing The Witcher 3,
Right.
because it's like a Polish video game,
Yeah.
and they talk about a lot of Polish folklore, and there's a thing in the forest that is that's like a cursed person from eating other people, and they're more of tree though. Like it looks like their skin turns
Tree
to
bark and
tree
shit.
bark and shit. But it's kind of the same thing. It's like they turn into like insatiable beasts that can never be.
They made an X-Files like that, right?
Yeah.
With the tree people with the
Yeah.
red eyes. Remember
Yeah.
that shit? And they would go into people's houses. and
Yeah,
abduct them?
I forget the name of what it's called. but
Yeah.
yeah. I think it starts with like a Y. It's Polish,
something like
so
that.
it has like a umlaut and like fucking 40 fucking consonants and shit. Yeah,
Like an upside down ass symbol above the R.
yeah.
That's sick. Yeah, I like. What you looking up?
Oops.
What you looking up? No.
Browser from last week.
I just fucking saw it.
Did you see it?
Fucking saw it. Yeah.
Dude, that's the guy you said is probably still big in real life. You saw the picture. For those listening in, Nikki got caught on his phone just now by Eric looking at pictures of fucking skinny ass David Bautista. Skinny motherfucking David Bautista. Why were you looking at that, Nikki?
I had it open from last week.
He just had it open from last week. He just had it open from last week, man.
Yeah. I've said that before.
Got me.
Some fucking browser tabs. Some questionable browser tabs.
God damn, that would be the death of us. So these kind of reports and stuff, they go back a long way and they go up pretty far too. Like that Jesuit relations one where they're supposed to meet all the nations, right? And then when they got to the rendezvous point, everybody was fucking torn apart. That happened in 1661. Yeah. Almost the entire time we've as Anglo-Saxon kind of settlers have had like relations with these nations.
Yeah.
We've been kind of peripherally like observing, like it's been going on probably in their culture forever.
Yeah.
But like they say though that like what curbed it is the thing prays like the things always seem to pray like a Judeo-Christian demon would. It needs a weak point in order to like invade your psyche and make you do it and become it. And so once the really rural and nomadic like nature of a lot of these nations was kind of like curbed by like we should have, and we like farming just became a thing. Like metropolitan areas became a thing.
Yeah.
They started to fall off like drastically. No starvation, no chance for the Wendigo to get in.
Less people living out in the wilderness and more in towns and cities and shit.
Yeah, you think so, but it still happened like clear on up. Like they say there was a couple trappers that were involved with what are we at?
Oh no. Somebody was just Wendigo psychosis.
No. Some like there were a couple trappers that alluded to it possibly being the culprit for the Donner Party.
Ooh, okay.
And like having a lot to do there because that got real fucked and real cannibally real fucking quick.
I looked this up and it goes to it's like a cannibal.
Yeah.
I went to a National Library of Medicine government report. It's on.
It's like a real psychosis.
Yeah.
That's what I
Oh, I don't know if I mentioned that. Like, the Wendigo psychosis isn't something that's just like a made up, like fictional. Like, that's the name for this factual
this is what I
thing that
sent.
people get.
Of people losing their minds and trying to eat each other.
Medical webpage.
Yeah, you can look up a full history of this thing, or like doctors being like, "Yeah, that's an apt name. That's what it is." Like, that's the part that's fucking crazier. Is we just kind of came up with a term for it.
Yeah.
A medical term. How often does that happen in our fucking paranormal world? But these things, like the fear that it strikes too is fucking terrifying. Like, people in these tribes are fucking terrified of this thing.
Yeah, it's just crazy too, because it's like you think about some of these people, like not so much Indian tribes, but back in the day with people settling out and like making like a log cabin
Yeah.
somewhere in fucking out in Canada, and then the winter strikes.
American,
yeah. Oh yeah. And then they just like start fucking starving to death and shit.
Yeah.
And then they're terrorized by some fucking monster.
Yeah. Yeah. Like that is, and the monster is like, it's going to be like your dad.
Yeah.
Like,
Or your neighbor.
or your neighbor.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, I loved it. I loved the entire thing through because there isn't really, we don't know. Like if the chips are down again and the food runs out again, who knows?
Which it will,
Yeah.
you know. So,
Well, yeah, we make all of our produce out of like asbestos now. So,
civilization's going to reset.
oh, he's fixing it. Yeah. Oh no, the mud flood's
The
gonna
mud
happen.
flood's going to happen.
Yeah, where are we on that timeline?
They said we're overdue.
I thought it happened in 1892.
The book,
It's supposed to happen every 10,000 years.
the Adam and Eve story, the book from Chan Thomas, he doesn't talk about the mud flood at all. He just talks about cultural resets. And so he says that we're overdue.
I see. Okay. That's what I got for you.
Well, that's pretty good. That's pretty fucking creepy, man.
Yeah, it's
Is,
fucking awful looking.
Do you know if in our modern like age, if there's any photos of people of things that say that it's the Wendigo, or is it mostly just kind of like Bigfoot, and then people are like, "Oh, it's a Wendigo." No, it's a Bigfoot.
It's part of the reason why I didn't include any kind of, because there are sporadically terrible situations that arise that have arisen since the 20th century. That's kind of when they died off, you know, but there are some. But when it comes to modern accounts of this thing, it's not referenced as that.
Okay.
You can see it, like I said, you could see it in other parts,
Yeah.
like Nam or somewhere else where like super, maybe, you know, like guerrilla warfare and like very traumatic shit's going on. And when people are like, you know, there's been a couple like people lost at sea, like resorting to cannibalism, but it doesn't take the same shape. That's why I kind of didn't include them. There have been like a couple like modern cases that are kind of like murders that have this kind of calling card to it. Like,
Yeah.
But again, with the modern age too, you have so much more of like, is this drug induced? Is that like you didn't have as much, not that you didn't have like narcotics and stuff can be drug induced like way back in the day, but like to the extent now like, where you have like crystal meth and fucking fentanyl and shit, like, which I also view as like the starvation. That could just be another way for the thing to get in you.
Yeah. Like,
know?
I wonder if also too, like, we don't really see it so much in the modern ages because, so, you know, back in the day, people were like more succumbed to isolation and starvation that it kind of manifested into the cannibalism thing.
Yeah.
But like, what if, you know, in the modern age, whatever this thing infects people with, people usually get caught before they get a chance to like cannibalize. So like maybe this has something to do with you hear about like the family annihilation shit,
right?
Where it's like, you know, the dad just goes crazy and fucking kills his whole family. But since we're now in like suburban neighborhoods, like your fucking neighbor hears you kill your fucking family instead of like, oh, a month later, we found out that this guy ate his family.
Yeah, that one from 1661, they found that group a year later.
Mama.
So that, you know, that of course the same thing that's entering your mind. Like, how do you know that this was all the people? Like, you can't leave fucking bodies in the woods for
like
a year. Animals are gonna get to it, and you're gonna look like you were ripped apart by a fucking werewolf.
So maybe I'm saying like he could have like killed his family,
right?
But since he was there left to his own devices for so long, he ended up eating them.
The thing that makes me question whether or not it actually has presented itself since it died off the first time in the 20th century is it is very specific symptom wise, and the rest of them follow different patterns like that we have nowadays. Because I was thinking this in terms of like Richard Chase, so like the Sacramento vampire, like he was a serial killer, but he was also one of the things that has grown since these were reported is our knowledge of mental health.
Yeah.
So if you put Richard Chase in 1661, he would 100% be a Wendigo. 100%.
Or Dahmer.
Or Dahmer. Again, 100% be a Wendigo. That's who you'd be considering too. So I think,
Bath
exactly.
yeah,
The
good
bath
call.
salts guy that ate the face, like completely a Wendigo. So I think that is still active, but it's kind of, we almost camouflaged it by learning more about it.
So we
Like
helped it.
Yeah, we almost helped it get into people.
Now it could,
Because I
hiding in
guarantee
plain
you the
sight.
drugs are the same thing as the starvation. It's
Oh,
a
yeah.
weak point in someone's psyche that it can get in through. Your addiction? Yeah. You know, remember that rapper? What was it? Fucking Big Lurch? He was like a Bay Area rapper. He took a bunch of PCP and he fucking ate his girlfriend's lungs
Yum.
with his bare hands. Yeah.
Really? When the fuck was that?
90s.
God
He
damn.
was high on PCP.
That'll do it.
Yeah, he's still in jail today. He still makes music, like albums out of jail and stuff.
I wonder if they're any good.
What, any of the albums?
Yeah.
You can go listen to it. It's like fucking Breath Lynch Hung kind of shit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like shock rap. Kinda
Okay,
shit.
okay. It's like
But he's actually in there serving it. But that dude, who's to say?
it's like Brother Lynch shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But who's to say? Like, you know, Big Lurch could have been a victim of the Wendigo. You know, it's just so fucking
Free my boy.
creepy when we were right next to each other. And it was just affecting them.
Yeah. Weird.
Yeah.
I like it.
But we had all the food. So
Yeah, we have food.
I was in the hospital for a matter of time, and I didn't eat for weeks, and I was like on IVs and stuff, and that makes you weird. I mean, besides the hospital stuff, I mean, not eating it affects your brain a lot.
yeah.
Yes.
Did you have some pretty weird thoughts?
I'm not eating people, more like ice cream and French fries, but you lose sense of time.
Yeah. Yeah.
You were just like, I want to go to Wendy's and go. You were in a Wendigo.
Wendigo.
So
Wendigos.
It's funny you mentioned that because, you know, a lot of those weird, like, liquid diet, like kind of, like, protein shake,
Yeah.
supplement, like meal replacements,
Yeah.
where people are like, oh, I'm replacing all of my food with these shakes.
Yeah.
A lot of people, when you look at the testimonials and stuff like that, a lot of people say that they fall into like a really deep depression as they're doing that diet, because like just like the being with people and eating and talking is like,
It does more for your mental
yeah, exactly,
fucking health than you
Yeah.
think. Yeah. I can see that too. I can see that too. That's what I love about this thing is because in spite of fucking science and all of the sciencey bullshit and all the fucking naysayers and stuff, there's really no way to prove.
yeah,
Because this thing is so in the fucking shadows and
Yeah.
in your fucking, it thrives in the part of your brain that you mostly keep locked up because you're a fucking member of a society. And like once that gets kind of tested and you're fucking like, okay, now it's you, your wife, and 5 kids in a cabin with no food for a fucking month. But you were fucking less than 25 miles from food.
Yeah.
Shelter, warmth, the whole thing. You'd been doing business with them.
yeah. Like he could have just been like,
So why would it
I'm
be
gonna
a
be
month?
gone. I'm gonna be gone for like 4 or 5 days.
They were out
I'm
there
gonna-
together.
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't you all just make that pilgrimage?
Yeah.
How did you let it get so long? Unless there was something else going on. Unless there was something preventing him from doing that.
Yeah. Weird.
And then it turns you into that fucking thing. Because that's, I think, like the accounts, you can go look them up too. I didn't involve too many because like they're pretty fucking gnarly. Like they've caught him alive and they figured out like because apparently they look like horrifying. There's accounts of people coming up on like old like Native American villages and stuff, and everybody's just been fucking taken out, and there's like still one alive, and it's like roaming around, jabbering to itself, fucking looks horrific. It's frostbitten and emaciated and stuff. It
Yeah.
used to be a person, but it's
Yeah.
just been roaming around eating corpses for fucking
Yeah. A year.
a year plus.
God damn.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
so fucking gnarly.
Yeah. Right?
I thought we weren't going to do any depressing shows.
I didn't think this one was depressing.
No, this one's cool.
I thought this one was fucking badass.
this
I
one's
just kept thinking what a horror movie this would be if they
Oh,
actually
yeah.
did it right.
If they actually did it right.
And there's like it's such an easy way to do it right.
I think there's a video game called, it's a PlayStation game. It's like that one that's like an interactive movie, or interactive horror movie. It's like
Oh, yeah.
what it's
I know
called,
what you're called.
but
There's two of them in there.
yeah, but that's the Wendigo.
Yeah. Where you're walking around the woods and you have like a flashlight and your dog.
Yeah, and you're like being like hunted or whatever. Yeah, apparently
yeah.
that's the Wendigo.
Right. That movie, usually the ritual, the monster from that thing is like heavily influenced.
We just
by
watched
it.
that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that's like one account of like what they could look like and stuff.
A European version of it.
Yeah. Because that's the thing too. Like it just kind of manifests differently, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like because there's totally cases of this where it's vampirism or
Yeah.
werewolves instead of a Wendigo.
Or people being possessed by a jinn.
Yeah, exactly. Over in more like Middle East and Africa and stuff.
Yeah.
There's evil fucking animal spirits in Africa that are known to like produce these kind
But
of
it's
effects.
kind of the same effects, huh?
Yeah, it kind of travels throughout cultures, but
Yeah.
we actually, thanks to these Native American kind of nations, we kind of have like a blueprint of how it works.
Yeah.
Thanks to them. I think that's why they stick out of their Wendigo story.
Mm-hmm.
They've isolated this because I think it happened a lot more because it
Yeah.
was such a fucking harsh place to live.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
You know, you're
especially
talking
up north in Canada and shit. Like, goddamn.
Yeah. There's a bunch of stories of trappers,
Those French...
like
French
French
trappers?
trappers,
Yeah.
like being in because you had to, the thing was you had to get to fucking civilization, like a big chunk of it, or you just had to huddle up for a winter.
Because you couldn't be like mobile in the winter.
No, it was completely infeasible. Like there were no roads. There were no fucking, the roads that did exist were trails. You know, they weren't. So you huddled up and there's all these stories of like trappers going crazy and stuff, but it doesn't have the same attachment.
Man, I bet you
It's like they didn't know the rules.
I bet you those forts, like the forts in between like settlements and shit, were
Yeah.
probably like prisons.
Yeah.
Prison rules.
Oh, there's so many of like, we fucking caught this guy at the scene. He said he had nothing to do with it. He looked pretty normal. We fucking hanged him. And then 3 days later, we found this other emaciated, jabbering, crazy dude wandering around the woods, like carrying like a human foot.
Sick.
And we were like, ooh,
Whoops.
kind of fucked that up. All right.
Oops.
You know what?
Don't-
we'll go both.
Yeah, don't write this down.
Yeah. Well, history books are fake. So.
Yeah, well, history books are fake. Yeah, I was gonna say it happened in the 1600s. I thought all that was made up.
Yeah, it didn't happen.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Yeah. The Wendigo is just a Tartarian.
Yeah, it's just a Tartarian walking around. No, obviously.
Obviously.
If it was, they'd be white, not gray.
Yeah, good call.
Yeah.
All right.
So that's the motherfucking Wendigo.
That's a cool one. I like that.
I know. Isn't it fucking tight? Because I don't know. It's a cryptid that relies on possession, which I think is fucking sick. Because it isn't necessarily...
Because it possesses somebody
demon.
and then leaves. You know what I mean?
It's just...
And I bet you that's kind of
yeah.
like one of the things too, is that like it possesses you, you do these awful things, and then it leaves, and then you're just standing there.
Yeah.
Like
That's what happened to this
Sur-
poor bastard who
sur-
had to confess.
surrounded by like the
Yeah.
carnage that you've been doing.
They say in the paragraph I didn't copy, before that dude was executed, like before he confessed or whatever, he woke up and was just like surrounded by the dudes from that like supply camp 25 miles away, had gone out there because they had heard off of like echoes and shit, the fucking screaming.
Whoa.
Like 25 miles away, they heard like faint fucking, and that was him ripping apart his fucking family. But when they got there, he's like, what the fuck am I doing? Like he and that's when he confessed. Like, you just wake up fucking in that. God. You know, and that, you know, it's insult to injury. It's fucking to our dumbasses there. Like, well,
Yep.
alrighty.
Yeah. It looks like you're crazy.
Pretty fucking open and shut case here.
Yeah.
All right, let the eagle soar and all that shit.
Yeah. Jesus.
Yeah. Anyway, that's what I got this week.
I love it.
I know, I was pumped.
That was a good one.
So many times. I feel like the last 3 that I fucking come to the table have been like, so anyways, that's that cool story. Actually, it was the fucking, it was based on Shrek or something. Some dumb shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do an easy one next.
Yeah, what are you thinking about?
I don't know. I've been really liking these cryptids.
They're so much fun.
Yeah, I might do a weird off-putting UFO one.
Yeah.
Like a weird encounter.
Like a lesser known one.
Like I might do the. Yeah, it's hard. Like the fire in the sky story is really compelling.
Right.
You know, but it's
Right.
like they made a fucking movie about it and whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's some really weird UFO.
That one's compelling
stories.
though because it's grays that aren't like necessarily nice.
Yeah, and
Like a lot of the
big
grays
mantis,
are pretty mean. Yeah.
Yeah, they're like the big mantis.
Oh, did he involve them too?
Yeah. He's
Yeah.
like they're like the commanders. They're like the mantis ones.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. The insect ones.
Yeah.
God damn, dude, you got to watch Starship Troopers again.
I love that movie.
It's so fucking tight. Mm-hmm. So fucking tight. Mm-hmm.
I like it.
Rico's Roughnecks, baby.
It's like a patriotic Warhammer.
Dude, I was gonna ask
Yeah.
about it. I was gonna ask you. You're like the fucking tome of Warhammer
Yeah.
knowledge I hack into. That shit looks really fucking similar.
Oh,
Like it's the helmet. Like, is there any kind of
for somebody that's like loves Warhammer,
yeah?
Warhammer is a fucking complete riff-off of Dune, Starship Troopers, and like fucking like Wheel of Time or some shit. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like it's just
Wait a minute, Starship Troopers came first.
Oh yeah, Starship Troopers was made in like the 60s.
50s or 60s.
Yeah, the book.
Oh, tight.
The
I
book,
didn't know
yeah,
that.
yeah, it's super old.
Oh, tight.
You know
Because
about the book?
No.
yeah,
You
because
check out the book.
yeah, it's like it's all about
Is it fucking tight like the movie?
It's different.
it's
but
different. It's more of a it's
They call it fascist too.
yeah, it's more of a critique on like patriotism and fascism and stuff like that. Yeah, yeah.
It's some hippie
a
trying to be
war book.
fucking clever, and then
But it's
he
cool.
actually made it fucking badass.
No, it's
by
super
accident.
brutal. It's super brutal though. It's like super like
I was wondering about that. I thought it was the other way around. I thought this dude came over and like wrote a movie after
The
he.
bugs talk. There's like
Oh, really?
bugs.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they just go out and massacre them, stuff like that. Go to
Tight. Yeah.
yeah, as you do.
Yeah, dude.
But
Don't look at me crazy. I'd play that fucking Space Marine, homie. Dude, I don't fucking subscribe to that at all. No.
But yeah, it's
All of you gotta die.
It's essentially just a critique on propaganda.
'Cause I was looking at it too, like the Tyranids in particular.
Oh.
They are the bugs, the
Yeah.
arachnids.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like
yeah.
the helmet is what did it for me.
In the book, the bugs are a little more sympathetic. Yeah,
Shit.
but in Warhammer, no alien is sympathetic.
No, dude, you see all this shit where they're making fucking like Stitch a fucking Space Marine?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
Did you notice the in the book or in the movie in Starship Troopers they don't show how that was it that meteorite was launched?
Yeah,
They just don't explain it,
yeah,
and they never use them,
yeah.
and it would have taken like a lot of time to get it over to Earth. But they don't ever acknowledge.
No, they're going really fast.
Yeah, it's a total false flag.
yeah,
So-
it's like a false.
It's a
Yeah,
false flag.
Well, I always assumed the way that worked was that the bugs that blow that blue shit up at the spaceships, that also carries the spores, and if they hit an asteroid, it knocks it out of the belt and toward whatever. Like I never thought,
They do it.
yeah, but I just assumed that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just assumed that that's how it worked.
yeah, yeah. See, you're fucking susceptible to propaganda.
I know. Well, don't get me wrong. Like I watched it, it was so tight. So I sit down on the couch, right, and I look over at the kid, and she's sitting over there, and I go, "Hey, you ever seen fucking Starship Troopers?" And she's like, "No," and I was like, "Phew, "You're into all this D&D and fucking Warhammer shit right now. Check this out." All right, I throw it on, right? And then every time one of those fake commercials comes on, I'm like, hell yeah. Ooh, fuck yeah. And she's kind of looking at me and she's watching the commercial, and it's like some dude feeding a cow to a giant spider and like all the propaganda about becoming a true citizen.
I love
and
the
shit.
one where he's
and
like-
I'm just over there like, yeah.
Do your part.
I love the thing where he's like, "Oh, the core has made me the man I am today." He's like, "No fucking legs,
no legs
no
and one
legs.
arm.
Yeah. And that's also one of the things if you notice it that like it's like this weird thing about the older generation like putting the younger generation through the meat grinder.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if you look at every old character in that movie, they're all like crazy, like disabled and hurt and shit. Like they're all missing an
Yeah.
arm. And
Yeah.
that one doctor lady's like missing both her eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's
Blanche from Golden Girls.
yeah, that's right. One of my favorites is like it's star fucking studded. The whole movie.
Oh yeah.
Dude, Michael Ironside,
Michael Ironside.
dude, Clancy Brown, dude, Gary Busey's kid,
The fucking Kurgan.
yeah,
Clancy
dude, the
Brown.
Kurgan is your drill instructor. I was like, it's the greatest fucking movie it's ever made.
Yeah.
Like, I watched it last night. I probably hadn't watched that movie in like 4 or 5 years.
Doogie Howser
Yeah, Doogie Howser's up in the mix. He's the crazy psychic colonel.
and Busey's kid.
Yeah,
Psychic.
ace, dude. Yeah, I just got done with it. Dude, Dizzy, come on,
Oh yeah.
super fine, Dizzy. And what's her name? Charlie Sheen's old lady.
Yep.
Yeah,
What's her name? Playmate of the Year.
yeah.
1 year. I don't know. Christmas Jones was her character in
Is
James
it Die
Bond.
Another Day?
James Bond. Yeah. Christmas Jones.
Yeah.
What she was like a nuclear physicist.
Yeah, yeah.
In short-
I always
in
thought it
sh-
was.
in
I always
short
remember. I always remember the joke at the very end because I was like, it's a pretty fucking lewd one for a 007 movie. Because I remember being in the theater and like he defeats the bad guy or whatever. So naturally, he's like, dude, it's time to go get that pussy, and like. So they're on some raft or something like that, and he obviously just fucking got done taking the wood to her, and like Pierce Brosnan, like he's like fucking on top of her or whatever, and he goes, "I always liked it when Christmas came early," and I was like, "Ooh, fuck, Pierce,
Spicy.
fucking dropping a spice. Isn't that a spicy one for
That's
a
pretty
007
spicy.
movie?"
Yeah.
Normally it's like the phone's ringing. He's like, we can take a message this time. And like fucking, you know what I mean? It's like way more lax.
Yeah,
And that one, he's like fucking just got done curling them toes, girl.
I haven't really watched a James Bond in a long time.
The fuck you talking about, dude? Skyfall?
I never saw it.
Oh my god. It's like it's the best Bond movie.
Is there any sexy time in it? Or not really?
Skyfall?
Not so much in the newer ones, huh?
No,
Yeah.
it's new rules,
New rules.
Back in the day, dude, if you weren't like, what do you mean there's no sex scene? It's like, Mr. Connery, she didn't agree to it. And he's like, we'll fucking
Yeah.
see.
Then he fucking slaps
Yeah,
her on camera.
yeah, just fucking knocks the shit out of
Gets
her.
her on
Next thing you
camera.
know, they're in a fucking they're in a bathtub in some hotel suite. Oh, looks like James seduced another one.
Whoops.
Oopsie.
Should we call it?
Yeah, I don't want to get in trouble.
Yeah, I gotta do Mother's Day stuff.
I know.
Well,
I know.
always a pleasure. What are we at?
About an hour.
About an hour.
Yeah.
Should we keep going?
I mean, we got fucking 10 minutes
Nah.
till you need to fucking cut it off. I don't know. What do you want me to do here?
Yeah, I'm good.
Thank you, everybody.
All right, thank
Yeah.
you. That was fun. That was a good one.
Thanks.
That was a really good one.
Thanks.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank
Like
you.
and subscribe.
Yeah, like and subscribe. Watch some shit.
Like and subscribe.
Fuck you, Carlos.
Yeah.